hold up. Stop what you're doing right now. Before y'all continue the context, you already know. Take some time right now. Subscribe to this channel. You get what I'm saying? And once you subscribe, click that notification bell so you can get that notification so you know when I'm here. Cause I'm here, you feel me? And for y'all who also want to help support your boy, you know what I mean, support the cause, all you got to do is click in the description box below. There's 2 links. One link for if you want to donate monthly, you want to set it and forget it, you know what I'm saying, for a minimum of at least $2 a month. You could do more if you would like. Or if y'all want to do a one-time donation, there's another link. That's a PayPal link below. You know what I'm saying? You click that and you can donate as much as you want. You already know every single dollar is important. Every single dollar is appreciated. I appreciate y'all. Now, go right back into that context. It's True Talks. Because True Talks. Stay tuned, boy. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks. And we back in the building, you feel me? It's True Talks, cause True Talks, all right? Let's get straight right into it. Bruh, man. So as you can see, clearly, over the last couple of days, Damian Lillard has been getting a lot of heat, a lot of backlash for saying that he won't play. And they've been taking everything out of context. Like, come here for that IQ. Cause that's what I do. You feel me? Bruh. So let me give you context and give you insight and IQ onto basically what's happening, because a lot of these media outlets, obviously you have Undisputed where Shannon and Skip were just roasting Dame Lillard, calling him not Dame Dollar, you know, Dame whatever it was, calling him Dame Penny or whatever he called him. You know what I'm saying? They're roasting him and getting at him, or Dame Nickel. Yeah, that's what he called him, Dame Nickel. They just went at him, you know what I'm saying? And just basically going in on him, saying that he was wrong for what he said, etc. Other outlets have said that as well. But they're not looking at the context. They're just looking at it as, okay, Damian Lillard as a leader just was, I'm not playing and all this type of stuff. And, you know, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And they're looking at it, that's weak. As a competitor, that's weak. Damian Lillard, that's weak. When do you know Damian Lillard to not be a competitor? This is the same man that won't leave Portland. What are you talking about? You think it just comes and leaves? Understand the context. Like, I don't get it, man. So anyways, I'm going to give you all context because people will think that I'm just assuming things and stuff like that. But no, I go based off of the reports. I get every notification from the Bleacher Reports, from everything about NBA, especially during this time. I always do, but especially during this time, I get all the reports. So I know the history and the chronological order of how things are happening. So I know based off of that, what's going on with the context. So I'm going to give you all context about that. So for some of y'all that don't know, let's go right into the context and what's actually happening. So basically, you already know they're trying to restart the season. They're in a situation where it's 100%, 90 to 100% goal for them actually resuming the season. But I would say probably 100% where they're resuming the season. But because that's also, like I said, reports with Charles Barkley. Everybody has been saying they're resuming the season. They've had meetings and all that type of stuff. Resuming the season. The issue and the delay right now is how you're going to resume the season. That's the issue right now. How are we going to resume the season? How are we going to facilitate this? What's going on? Are we doing a play-in, or are we just doing exhibition, or are we jumping straight right into the playoffs? If we do, what's the seedings, etc., etc., etc. What's the timelines? Are we doing training camp? What are we doing? Basically, if you look at my last video, I talked about the decision-making process into coming back for the season, you know what I'm saying? Or for the season to come back. So now when you look at it from that perspective, Damian Lillard came out and said, I'm going to read his quotes, you know what I'm saying? He said, if we come back and they're just like, we're adding a few games to finish the regular season and they're throwing us out there for meaningless games and we don't have a true opportunity to get into the playoffs, I'm going to be with my team because I'm part of the team, but I'm not going to be participating. I'm telling you that right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's saying. And he goes on to also talk about later, like how Collins and Nurkic is coming back. They had more rest now, so they're coming back more healthy, and et cetera, et cetera. We fought ourselves to get back into that spot. We have our starters and everybody coming back, and if everybody's rusty, we can come steal some shit. You know what I'm saying? We can come steal some and maybe get to the conference finals. So the fact that, and even at the end of the quote, he goes, it's room for that in this situation. So the fact that it's possible that we wouldn't get an opportunity at that's weak to me. I ain't getting no younger. You know what I'm saying? So he's basically saying that, like, yo, if you don't give me an opportunity, like, we're literally 3.5 games out the 8th seed. If you don't give me an opportunity to jump into or have a chance to come into the 8th seed, I'm not playing no games for no reason, just to play. Now that's where people are saying, oh, but your money and this and this and that and that and that. So I'm going to break all of this type of stuff down. You know what I'm saying? So let me put it this way. You people got to understand the timeline of how things happen. You know what I'm saying? Understand the timeline and the chronological order of how things happen. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to certain things, so the NBA, they first said, you know what, we're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to send out a GM survey. A GM survey. They said they're going to send out a GM survey to facilitate. So even before that, Trump already co-signed the sports coming back. He said, we're going to now, obviously the border shut down to foreign people, but we're going to accept and, actually put out something where we're saying, you know what, any foreign-born players actually are the only ones exempt from this rule. They're the ones who are okay to come back into the country. Any foreign-born athletes can come back into the country. So that's like Luka went home. All these other guys that went home, you know what I'm saying? He extended his hand and he co-signed it. So that just shows you, okay, they obviously are guaranteed to resume the season. And also Trump backed it up by saying we need the sports to come back to boost the economy, bring up the revenue, etc., etc. At a time like this, we need the sports. So when you have the president saying that, what does that tell you? Clearly, they had discussions. Clearly, it's more than likely and 90 to 100% sure that they're going to resume the season. So now it's just a discussion of the logistics, the aesthetics, the plans and etc. and how we're going to do this. The what's it called? The structure of how we're going to do all of this. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that, now, if you look at it, what happened in the timeline, they clearly said, you know what? Let's send out a GM survey. And in this GM survey is going to be bare options. And you're going to have to write out what your preferences are within these options. So they had a GM survey that says, would you like to do a play-in? Right? Play-in tourney for, I guess, the teams, etc., that are close to the playoffs, etc. A play-in tourney. Are we going to do that? Okay. Are you going to do another option? Another option is just to play exhibition games. So the exhibition games, especially for GMs, is more beneficial because if you just give them, let's say every team gets 3 exhibition games, that's going to now boost the revenue. Because remember, they're still getting paid, but them getting, immediate type of revenue from those 3 games will help them lower their loss or the deficiencies, you know what I'm saying, with them paying the players, etc. will help them cover their ass, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's an immediate assurance. So obviously there's a lot of the GMs would try to go for the immediate one, you know what I'm saying, to help them because they know when we fix that part up and then we start playoffs, that's double revenue, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to just start the playoffs. So that's another option, start the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? So you have multiple options that they wrote down, and then they also said within each option, obviously give you a reason if you want, what type of series you want, how many playing games, how many this. So it's kind of like a loose, open GM survey, but it's kind of like everyone gives their opinion and they are going to look at that. And after they look at that, they're going to come to a consensus and make a decision. So obviously, if you have IQ based off of that, once that came out, then now 1 or 2 days later, Damian Lillard comes out saying this. What does that tell you? If they actually made a decision and said, yo, the decision is we're playing exhibition games. You know what I mean? We're playing exhibition games. It's done deal. We're playing some exhibition games. The Portland Trailblazers, all these people that are out of the playoffs won't have a chance to make the playoffs. It's just the 8 seeds locked in right now. And then everybody else just plays exhibition just to get the warm-up games for those guys so they can get ready. And then we go into the playoffs. If that happened and they just made a statement and that came out, and then Damian Lillard goes, I'm not playing, etc., 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 then I could be like, okay, you know what? Regardless, still, that's weak. All of that type of stuff. I get where you're coming from, but still, as the leader, you don't want to do that. But that's not what happened. They're in a indecision process right now. They're trying to figure out what do we do. So obviously Damian Lillard is playing strategic. He's like, yo, they're giving us 3 options. 2 of these options or 1 of these options are hella weak, but I could see based off of maybe GM or Neil O'Shea is showing him, yo, this is what the survey is. Can you believe some people might go with this option? Damian Lillard sees that. No, I'm not standing by and letting this happen. Because you got to understand, the players union and the players as a whole already are in agreement. Yo, if we come back, we need these things. 1 week, the team facilities are open. We need 3 weeks training camp, 2 to 3 weeks training camp, some exhibition, then playoffs. This is what we need. We're not coming back if we don't get this. So obviously the players are in unison, and that's what's kind of happening. So now within that, now you have a GM survey that's going to say, oh no, scrap that. We're going to just have exhibition games. After all of that, we're just going to have exhibition games for whoever. Damian Lillard's like, yo, that's an option? I'm going to try and make it guaranteed where they go for the best option, the most competitive option, the play-in tournament where us who are in a playoff spot could go and fight. You know what I'm saying? Other people who are in a playoff spot could go and fight. It's technically somewhat type of exhibition. Or even if they don't do a play-in tournament, they have games that aren't exhibition. It's actually season games so we could try and fight, etc., etc. Give us a fighter's chance. Anything we come back, it's competitive. But there's one option that goes just exhibition. So he sees that option. He's like, yo, I'm going to try and guarantee that this doesn't happen. So I'm going to make a statement. Yo, if they do this shit, I'm not coming back. He's threatening them. It's kind of like when you see guys saying, yo, if you don't trade me, I'm going to take my surgery. Doesn't mean they actually would do it when the time comes. If they were to bluff and say, you know, does it mean that they're bluffing? If the GMs or the whoever was to go, you know what? Forget that shit. You're staying here. We're not trading you. We haven't seen that because again, you got to look at it from this perspective. The GMs are forced because they're like, yo, it's a possibility he could actually do that. Do we actually want to wait and try him and see? Nah, just trade him. We could just get pieces back for him. Because if he does that, now no one's picking up, no one's trading for him, and then it's going to be free agency anyways, and he's leaving for nothing. It's called advantage. It's called forcing their hand. It's called, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's called doing. That's what Damian Lillard is literally doing. And y'all don't see that. Man just want to go and just bash this man for no reason. And you know me, it has nothing to do if I like a player or nothing like that. Real is real at the end of the day. If you sus, you sus. I call that out right away. But how are you going to bash a man when no decision has actually been made? Look at the context. They literally sent out the survey. They're supposed to have a deal by, what was it, last Friday or whatever. They're supposed to have a deal saying this is what we're actually going to be doing. They couldn't even come to an agreement because clearly in the survey, you have bare different answers. Clearly. They had a meeting or whatever, and when they went off the phone with all the, you know, Adam Silver and the board and all that type of stuff, and they didn't come with a decision. I'm watching these things. I'm watching these reports come out. And then what happens? After Damian Lillard says that, what happens? Most likely, we're going to look to try and do a play-in tournament that will involve what? The Kings, the Blazers, the Pelicans, and the Spurs. And then what does Damian Lillard say after that? A play-in tournament was most likely, you know, that's ideal. Basically is what he's saying. Like, bro, I'm telling this. I was telling this with mans before I even made a video. Yo, stop roasting Damian Lillard. He's clearly playing chess. Clearly playing chess. They're trying to actually make me come and do random games for no reason. That's an option. Why is that even an option on the board? Why is that even an option on the survey? Just come play random games. Who wants to see that? This is the reason why Damian Lillard's already underrated. People don't just go watch Portland Trailblazer games. So to say that Portland Trailblazers versus the Knicks is just going to bring back revenue, some of the revenue you make, and you have to play just to earn that shit back. No, man, you got to understand the context. This is coronavirus, and the gym is empty. Mans are just going to watch an empty gym of the Knicks versus the Blazers. Like, what are y'all talking about? Obviously, ballheads like me, I'm watching it regardless. But to gain your revenue back where you need more casual fans than actually, you know, the actual guys who just raw ballheads and hoopers, you need the actual casual fans. It's the same thing like hip hop artists. For you to be in that higher tier echelon, you need casual people. People that don't just rock with you from the jump. You need more. You need the masses. So you think the masses are watching the Knicks versus the Blazers just because Damian Lillard is the superstar there? No, y'all don't even put me in that echelon where I'm box office. Obviously, for the real, I'm box office, but you don't put me in that echelon. Media don't put me in that echelon that I'm box office. Y'all don't talk about me every day. Y'all don't rate me in your top whatever. And you think I'm just going to be playing, I'm just going to get that back the revenue? No, what's going to get you back the most revenue out of this time is going to competition. Empty gym with competition. You can't have empty gym and no competition and think mans are going to watch that shit? What does it look like? So I already know that's not the reason. The reason for the playing games is, again, somewhat of a little bit of boost revenue for the people that are at a loss because, again, they got to pay these players. Oh, we've already had to come out of our own shit to pay these players. Because we're not making, obviously, the everyday ticket sales, the everyday games, the everyday jerseys, all this type of stuff. We're not making nothing. We're literally just paying. We need to get some back, you know what I mean, to cover some loss. So then now when we pay, you know, it's a less of a hit. Clearly. And you already know GMs are about the money. So when you're seeing that, why is that even an option if we're trying to come back and be elite? Why is even having random games that are meaningless even an option? especially in a shortened window where you read the players aren't playing unless they get this 1 month training process, which they're started already. So then, and you don't want to start the season. You don't want the season to go too far into, let's say, August, September. You want it to end at a proper time, which is why now they have to be smart with what's the series is going to be for the playoffs. Is the first round just 3 games? Is the playing tournament just 1 game? You know what I'm saying? What is this? What is that? All that type of stuff. There's a lot of logistics. There's a lot of things they got to go into with the details, because again, if you end too late, then the next season starts too late. And you don't want to start the season too late because you want that full season of, let's say, Mans can go to the arena again and everything's done. You want to get your revenue back up. You need that. You know what I'm saying? If you cut that off, that's shortened time for you to catch up on your losses that you had from this season. So it's a lot of things that are going into play. Chain reactions, domino effects. You know what I'm saying? So y'all need to understand, like, I don't know why. Like, it's like people just isolate words and don't understand the context of how these words are being said and the context of the time and the timing of when they're being said. Like, read between the lines. People, oh, you're just assuming Bangs, or you don't know you can't read his head. I'm not reading his head. What do you mean? The man talked right after these reports came out of indecision. Clearly he's trying to force some shit. Like, it's IQ, this is what I do, man. Bruh. Man. That's crazy, man. People, the way they actually went at him, I'm like, yo, this is actually reckless. Like, what? For what? Obviously, he's going to speak out. He's one of the teams that aren't guaranteed to play. Why am I going to play if I'm 8th seed or 9th seed? 3 games and a half back. And how many games was left in the season? But you're going to rush the season and obviously coming back. Yes, we come back. But I'm not, if you want to play, you can play. But to have me come back and just play meaningless games after coronavirus, after I haven't played for how long and caught in hiatus, and you want me to play at 29, risk of injury for no reason? If I'm going to come back, I need to play for a reason. And y'all are bashing the man for that? And it's not even like he actually was going to go through it. It's to force their hand. Oh, snap. We're actually going to have Portland Trailblazers play with no Damian Lillard. And that might be a chain effect that might make CJ not play, or Melo, or whoever the case is. Melo, like, okay, no. We're not doing that. We can't do that. The players talked out. We don't. And you know Adam Silver's about the players. You know what I'm saying? It's a different time. A lot of these old heads aren't used to the time of man speaking out. Because y'all didn't speak out. Y'all just took the L. We don't take the L out here. What are you talking about? I'm going to force this. I'm going to force this. That's what the LeBrons, all these guys do. It's a different era. Understand that. Read between the lines, man. Anyways, it's past that, but now we're at a point where, are they going to do a playing tournament? How many games or whatever, and etc. But the playing tournament, for me, out of all these options, the playing tournament, like I said before in my last video, is the best option. Like, imagine you have, let's say, the 5 teams. They're looking at the fact that they named the 4 teams in the West. They didn't even try and do a playing tournament for the East teams, because I think, the 8th seed is hella games of, 5 games, 6 games, Washington Wizards or whoever is a bigger jump than you have the Pelicans, Spurs, and the Blazers. Pelicans, Spurs, Kings, and Blazers all within a 3-4 game window. You have 3 teams tied at 3.5, and then the Spurs are 0.5 games back or whatever, or 1. So it's like they're all looped in and jumped in right there of the 8th seed. So what I would do is I'm doing a play-in. Obviously, Cuban has said he wants the last 2 seeds, even his team, because his team is the 7th seed, the Mavs, to do a play-in. But 6 teams doing a tournament it doesn't fit well. You have the bracket-wise, you have to have 4, 4, 8, 12. That's kind of how the brackets kind of work when it comes to just matching up numbers-wise when it comes to the brackets. You know what I'm saying, for tournaments. But you could do 5 and have that 5th team have a buy-in. The Memphis Grizzlies don't need to play nobody till the finals because they're the 8th seed. And then you play for the 8th spot. So what you would do is you would have whoever you have 9th play 12th, which would be the Blazers, I think, play the Spurs. That's the first bracket. The second bracket is the Kings and the Pelicans. That's 10, 11. You know what I'm saying? And then basically you have those 2 playing. The winner of that plays each other in the next part. So let's say the Blazers win and let's say the Pelicans win, whoever, they play next. Then the winner of that, right, will play the Grizzlies in the finals, waiting at the end of the bracket. And then whoever wins that game goes into the 8th seed. That's ideal. that's a total of what? The first two, 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, and then a 4th game. You know what I'm saying? That's a total of 4 games. You could do that. You can knock that shit out in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? A total of 4 games. 2-3 days. So you just do it on that weekend that the playoffs will normally start on the Friday or the Saturday. Just do Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or whatever the case is, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just do those 3 days and knock that bitch out. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what I'm looking at. I'm like, yo, that would be elite. At first I was like, I'm not a fan of just one and done games, but in this situation for time and all that type of stuff is actually, you want to have the most competitive game so people could watch. Bring out the competitiveness. Now, if you want to do exhibition before that, that's up to y'all. But it will bring out the competition, especially with the no arena. Mans will be having the competition. Mans will be talking. It will be intense regardless because they know this is on the line. You know what I'm saying? The generic arena, etc. Obviously, aesthetically, it might look a bit different. It might be unfamiliar. It might be uncommon for the naked eye. You know what I'm saying? For the fans and just the normal, typical, customer or, fan at the end of the day. But when you look at it, imagine people don't even watch the Kings or watch this, but you're like, yo, this is a do or die game, one or done. It's kind of like that NCAA feel that everybody loves it. People don't watch the NCAA during the season OD like that. Obviously, the ball heads do, but a lot of people don't. I don't, that's for sure. My time set on the NBA. Why am I watching a more amateur league? I could go only big games where it's like this prospect or whatever I'll watch. But when I was playing in college and I was playing like in that type of time where I was trying to make it, I definitely was watching college a lot of the time because that's my level where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? But if you're watching NBA every single time and that's what you love and that's what you see and you just complete different game, mono, you could see feet work, you could see Arsenal and you're watching a game with just all zones and you're like, that's just not, it's not even comparable to test and see what they do in college with all these zones and no 3 in the key, defensive 3 in the key and all that shit. And I'm coming and watching elite basketball. It's 2 different things. That's why a lot of these elite guys that were killing in NBA averaging 9 points, 10 points, especially back then in college. Like it's zones and stuff. Obviously more now they could average more because they could shoot. But back then it was even like Vince Carter averaged how many points? 12 or something like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't translate. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, mans don't even watch NCAA. But when it comes to the actual tournament, one and done, that kind of rush, it's the same thing with football. That kind of rush, that kind of, oh my goodness, it's do or die game. It's like every game's a game 7. You know what I'm saying? Which makes people watch it. Now, I do prefer series better than not series because I like the whole adjustment process. Game 1, this team slap. What do you do game 2? As the games go on, the more stakes rise. What did you do game 3? You didn't do nothing. Okay, you can redeem yourself game 4. You could change the whole series. Like the Raptors down 0-2, now win 4 straight. Those type of things, I like that because it actually shows you the people who can, like real life. If you can sustain basically a longer period of focus, you can sustain or switch things up or adjust and all that type of stuff. You're going to be the one who's going to be successful in life, adjusting on the fly. Life hits you with this, you adjust on the fly. Life hits you with that, you adjust on the fly, as opposed to just guaranteed I have it. It's just easy for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the battle, the chess match, all that type of stuff. So when you look at it from that, the playing games, I'm definitely a supporter of. And when they do the playing games, if they do the playing games, then again, a decision is, do you do 1 game or do you do a 3-game mini series? And then now for the actual playoffs, do you do the first round 3 games or do you do the first round 5 games, and only in conference and finals do 7? Do you do 7 straight throughout? Like, how do you work about this, especially with coronavirus? But again, they could be playing more often because they're not traveling. They're all playing in one arena. So you could have every day, it's a game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, it's all straight. Do you do it like that or do you give them rest? Like, there's a lot of things that they got to think about. But at the end of the day, you already know it's True Talks, because True Talks. Share, like, and subscribe. I give you that IQ because that's what I do. Come here for that context because I give you that context. Come on, man. Read between the lines, man. Bruh. Anyways, I'm out, man.